Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 10, Episode 17, overall 512 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership is located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac products as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email the dealership at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family-run and operated in the city of Guelph since 1969, and yours truly has been a part of Barry Cullen Chevrolet since 2000, so 25 years I've been with now. Anybody who's watching this show right now, can you please send me a comment and let me know if you can hear the audio? I'm having some audio issues. I'm not sure if it's on my guest side or my side, and I'm hoping we can get this show in tonight. The joys of technology. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And yeah, anyone out there watching this right now, can you please send me a comment and let me know if you can hear me? I have checked everything with my mic and on my laptop, and it appears good. So I'm just waiting for my guests to come on here today. I hope everyone's doing well on this Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. We're off to a little bit of a slow start here, so hopefully we can get our guest on and have a conversation. Unfortunately, I can see my guest and hear her, but she's not been able to hear me, so I'm hoping we can get our guest on yet. I'm going to try to bring her on, and we'll see if we can have a conversation. And like I said, guys, sometimes things in media don't always go 100%. So I'm hoping whatever issue there is with the audio, we can get it fixed. And I'm going to see if I can bring on my guest, Melissa Heathers. This is her first time on our show. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Melissa Heathers, she's the author of her own book called Dear Eagle, Dear Heart, which is available on Amazon, and she is a local person out of Kitchener, Ontario. So let's just hope we can get Melissa on and have a good conversation with her and talk about her book she just wrote, Dear Eagle, Dear Heart, which is available on Amazon. Good evening, Heather. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
I cannot hear you.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we can pivot and you can text it into the box and I'll respond that way. And I'll try and lip read. I'm really good at lip reading because I'm partially got a hearing impairment.
Okay.
Type,
so
I can see you type. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pivot, like you said, and we're going to try to check. We're going to try to do this conversation through texting the questions to Melissa. So everybody, bear with me. Looking forward to hearing you, Melissa. Hopefully, Jen Pickering, thank you for coming on here. Jen, can you please let me know if you can hear my audio? We're just having an audio issue. So please, Jen, thank you for watching. If you could just let me know. And what we're going to try to do, and another viewer too, Robbie Schneider. Thank you, Robbie. Hi, Chris. Robbie, can you please type a comment and let me know you can hear me? There's an audio issue here, and I'm not sure if it's on my guest or it's on me. Let's see. I can hear you both. Wow. Okay, so Jen says I can hear you both, and Robbie says I got you. Okay, well, that's a good sign. But what we're going to do is we're going to work around this. We're going to do the best we can, and we're going to work around this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to text Melissa the questions, and we're going to try to get through this. This is a different way of doing it, but I'm just going to try doing this. So,
Yes.
okay, let's see. I just typed. Okay, guys, I typed a question for you, Melissa.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to tell you about myself. Thank you for having me in this little unorthodox manner. I'm so sorry I can't hear you, but we're just going to pivot and adjust here and do what we can. Yeah, I'm just a local girl from the KW, Guelph, Kitchener-Waterloo area, and I recently self-published my book called Dear Ego, Dear Heart. My book was a healing journey for myself. I had a divide within myself, and I got tired of fighting with myself, and I wanted to explore that more. So I leaned into that, and from my healing and taking the time to, open up my soul, I wrote a book from there.
Congratulations on that book. We're also having a trouble tonight with our Instagram feed as well. So it's guys, everybody who's watching this or listening, please bear with us. Just there's an issue with Instagram tonight and with the audio. So I'm going to just keep writing the questions down here right now. Okay, where did you attend school and who were some of your early influences in mentor gen?
So I was born and raised in Kitchener-Waterloo. I attended Eastwood Collegiate. When I went there, they had just started the arts program there. It wasn't a part of the program, but I did a lot of the arts packaging there. I had a mentor in grade 7. He was a teacher, an English teacher, Wayne Boyer, and I really struggled with English, and I'll be totally vulnerable. I'm a poet. I'm not an editor. I plan on getting an editor for my next book. But this teacher of mine back in grade 7, he really inspired me to push myself and become, stronger in myself and, to just be a better person and communicate better. And yeah, so one of my biggest influences was this teacher, and he helped me believe in myself. Another huge influence was my dad, and he just was the man that gave me all the love and support in the world when others couldn't. And currently, my children influences to be a better mom and human and just have love and light for those in my life.
Okay, everybody. For those that are watching right now, I can see and hear Melissa Heathers, my guest, well. She can see me, but she can't hear me. So we're going to try to get through this show. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to text her or I'm going to put the questions on the graphics for Melissa as well. So I apologize. I have no idea what the problem is with the audio here. And hopefully it'll correct herself as well. And here's the next question for Melissa. How did you come up with the name of your new book, Dear Ego and Dear Heart?
So the inspiration for my book, first and foremost, God, the universe, whatever your source may be, that internal source. It was really like I felt this calling and these nudges, but I continued to ignore the calling and the nudges for many years of my life. I was in a different version of my life and very socially conditioned to the expectations of what life is supposed to look like. In 2010, I had a car accident where I had a brain injury and almost lost my vision, where I did 5 years of therapy from that. And from that brain injury, I was a very analytical person, set in, a social condition that life looks this way. And then I just became very philosophical throughout that healing journey. So that was kind of the transition and the inspiration where I kind of like, okay, I'm going to listen to the nudges now and continue on and write this book. How I came up with the name of the book was I tried writing different books. My dad had cancer, and I wanted to write like just, a girl, like a normal family that was going through all that, and that didn't really transpire. And then I started writing letters to myself and journaling, and through my healing process, I realized like we have this divide within ourselves, and I'm having these conflicts within myself, and I might sound like a crazy person, and that's okay, but my mind's telling me one thing, my heart's telling me another. I'm over here, and I was just so misaligned. And once I realized, like, I'm like, okay, I'm having this conversation with myself, and this side of my brain is telling me to do this, but my heart is doing this. It just kind of came naturally after that. I was like, oh, okay, I'm fighting with my head and my heart here, and I need to bring them together in alignment.
That's what I love about doing this show, Melissa, is the storytelling aspect of it. And I did finally get the Instagram live feed working, so at least I got that working. Everybody, the Instagram feed for the show is now working. I've had to. Me and Melissa are working through an audio issue, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. So we're gonna just try to get through this show. And I've got more questions already prepared for Melissa. And the next one is, how did you meet Carrie Kaufman? Carrie Kaufman is a mutual friend of ours, and her and I connected over a year ago on TikTok through her Reiki practitioner on TikTok, and I had her on my show. And Carrie's the one that introduced me to you, Melissa. So just explain to my audience how you met Carrie Kaufman.
So I met Carrie through a mutual friend here in Kitchener. She just moved back from BC, and I didn't know her from a hole in the ground, and we were just at a gathering, and instantly, like, I was meant to meet this woman. And we only met a few times through this mutual person, and I don't know, there was just something very special about her soul and who she is as a human being, and we just vibed. And we didn't really talk too much. We connected on Facebook, and then all of a sudden I just got a message from her a few years later, and I've been following her, and super excited for her Reiki business and everything that she's putting out in the world, like light and love. And she asked me just to do this live with her because my book resonated with her. And I don't even think she read it. It was the title that resonated with her. And I said, absolutely. And we've been touching base ever since, and hopefully going to be able to bring some more light and love into the world, and come together as a collective. I think the world is missing that a lot. So
I don't know if you can hear me now, Melissa. I tried to do something. I'm not sure. Can you hear me yet? I guess not.
that's
Okay.
sorry.
Are you able to hear me still or no?
So my thoughts on Reiki. So through my healing process from my my car accident, and then my divorce, and a bunch of other things like autoimmune disease and everything from my first version of my life that was negative manifested, and I had to heal those and get that toxicity out. So I've tried everything. I've tried yoga, therapy, hiking, and I still do all those things. They're part of my core and who I am. But Reiki was the first thing I really did that allowed me to have this release of negative stored up energy. And I strongly believe I believe that we're energy, and there are energy points, and they do get blocked, and they do need to be moved. And anybody that does Reiki, like touche, my sister actually just left mainstream medicine. She was a nurse practitioner, and she is now also practicing Reiki. So I think it's a really important integral part of healing your body. And when you feel stuck, to have that energy move and somebody needs to do it, like Carrie or my sister Jennifer.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. Hey, everybody. Again, there's an audio issue. My guest cannot hear me, and we're just trying to get through this show. So bear with us. Sometimes technology doesn't always work out. So this is the first time I've ever done a show this format, but we're gonna get through it. And my next question for Melissa is, can you
Oh, soul secrets.
tell us about your website, soulsecrets.ca?
So Soul Secrets is right now it is my blog. It's promotion for my book. I just my beautiful sister-in-law Moko, she's an amazing graphic arts designer, just shifted it. Prior to that, it was Melissa Heather Creatives. With my blog and my photography on there, and then we've now incorporated my book into that and kind of the main focal point of the website. But it wasn't meant to be that at all. It was actually, I wanted to do a bunch of products and glassware and have some inspirational quotes, and that's what I bought it or got the rights for that website for. And then through COVID, I just started writing blogs. So my transition was like from Mel Moments when I was having my awakening on Facebook to my blog, and then now my book. But yeah, it wasn't meant for writing and this at all, but I'm glad it transitioned that way.
How did you come up with your IG name, which is B named Zoe 13?
I love your questions, Chris, even though I can't hear you and I wish that I could. They're great. Thank you. So my favorite female name is Zoe, and the meaning of my name is honeybee. So, and the meaning of Zoe means the meaning of life. So a bee named Zoe. So I'm the bee, and the meaning of life. And then 13 is my birthday. So I know everybody's like, what?
Okay, I guess you can't hear me, so we're gonna just keep doing some questions. And hey, this is the first time I've done a show like this where the guest couldn't hear me, but hey, this is a good experience for me as well, because anytime anybody who's watching this live stream or on audio, sometimes things don't always go smoothly with technology. So we're getting through this. And Melissa, I still got some more questions for you. And the next one is, what are some fun facts about Melissa Heathers that people might not know about you?
Fun facts about me. I'm just a girl. No, I'm just joking. Well, I'm an avid hiker. Last spring, I went out with some of my best friends and their kids, and we hiked our biggest mountain yet. It was 2,300 meters, and I'm hoping to do a bigger one, go to Peru one day. So hiking is in my soul, nature is in my soul. I'm a huge meditator. I actually have a couple meditations on YouTube, and I'm just a mom, and I work 2 jobs. I'm a bartender. I'm just a girl on a healing journey, and I just feel like I have a lot of light and love to give. And I've really taken the time to look inwards and lean into my vulnerability and learned about connecting with myself and aligning with myself. And it's really a passion of mine, and I just want to share that however I can with the world.
All right. Next question is, what are some of your favorite places to hike, and why do you enjoy it the most?
I like hiking anywhere. You can call me up any day and I'll be like, okay, let's go. As long as I'm not working, which I work a lot. I love the Rockies. My biggest connection is with the mountains. I just look at the vast scale of the mountains and how they're grounded in the earth and they rise to the sky, and the power that's held within and those rocks. There's power and healing in all mountains, but definitely the Rocky Mountains, anywhere from Banff to BC. I hope to do them all one day. That's my dream.
The importance of mental health today, Melissa, with what I don't want to get into politics here because everybody's aware of what's going on in the world with politics, but how important is the importance of good mental health?
That is a really, really great question, and thanks for bringing it up. I don't know if you read my book and thought maybe this just go crazy. No, I'm just joking. Mental health is very, very near and dear to my heart for many, many reasons. I struggle with mental health myself, anxiety, depression. I've had very, very dark moments throughout my life and my healing. My younger son also struggled with mental health when he was really young, and we had a lot of challenges there. So it is very near and dear to my heart. And I think there's ways to heal it without medication, and sometimes you need the medication. And I strongly believe, and like a little bit the theme through the book, when you're having that mind chatter, and sometimes we get stuck in that mind chatter and those beliefs and the self beliefs that you think are true. It's really hard when somebody's struggling with mental health and they're suffering and they're stuck in their suffering. And it's really important to me that if I can, share my story and help one person who's suffering to get out of that state from their head back into their heart, and even more so help them align their head and their heart, like that would just be like overwhelming joy for me. So
Next question I'm going to ask you, Melissa, just thoughts on therapists and shrinks, because there's this social taboo that if you go to somebody nowadays that you're crazy. And to me, it's the people who refuse to go to get help that are the ones that need help. Just, I want your thoughts on this.
that's a really big question. I, through my experiences, okay, let me back the bus up here. I think there's a place for it in the world, 100%. My personal beliefs on certain types of therapy, I don't agree with. Like my older son had some traumatic experiences when he was younger, and I was forced to take him to a psychiatrist. And within 10 seconds of seeing this kid, they're like, he has ADHD. I'm like, you haven't even asked him his name. Like, how do you come up with that diagnosis? Like, I don't get it. Now, for me, in my experiences, I did a lot of therapy. With my car accident, I had to see a neuro therapist, and that's really where my healing began. But it was a more traditional therapy, not a psychiatrist. So, yeah, like it was really important. I learned a lot about myself, and it depending on what type of therapist you have, like they're not just going to like feed you the information. They're going to like ask you the questions that you need to ask yourself so that you can self-reflect and learn and evolve. And I've had a lot of like, she's literally said one-liners. I'm driving home from the session and I'm like, oh, wow, like I didn't realize that about myself. So I think if you're going to, use therapy as a tool, it is just a tool. You still have to be the one to do the work for yourself, and really kind of make sure you have a connection with that person, and maybe research what type of therapy they do and make sure it aligns with your values and who you are. So my car accident was a long journey physically. So I did 5 years of therapy, and multiple therapies. So physiotherapy, massage therapy, vision therapy. That was a big one because of my vision and all those type of things. So it was about 5 years of physical therapy. The emotional side and the mental side, 8 years. I'm still evolving. I'm human. I was such a different version of myself back then. And through that car accident, it allowed me to become the version that I am today. And I'm grateful for it. It was a long time doing that. And then there was other parts of it, like legal parts of it, that also took about 6 or 7 years to settle up. But in total, round scale, about seven years. But it's been the best transition.
Next question for you, Melissa, and I'm assuming you still can't hear me. So, hey, we're actually getting through this. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this live stream and on audio. And I do apologize. There is an audio issue, and I'm trying to figure it out. But we're getting through this, and I'm going to ask Melissa another question. And this question is, how important is it having a strong support system in your life?
Having a strong support system is so important, to some degree. For me, I didn't really have a strong support system at that time. During the car accident and that healing, I had to do that work on my own. And I was also going through a divorce through that period in my life. And I don't really have any family, but as I went through that healing and became to like closer to myself and aligning with myself and healing my heart, I developed strong support systems, and I am so grateful for them. Like, my friends are my chosen family, and I'm just the luckiest person in the world. I have, chosen family.
Jen Pickering, who's watching this show through Facebook, I want to say thank you, Jen, for watching this. She has a question for you, Melissa. What do you find is the most important thing to do to stay grounded with a positive attitude, especially in 2025?
Chris, if you could just nod your head. Jennifer Pickering's asking, what do you find the most important thing to do to stay strong? Is that, yeah? Okay, that's what I'm... Yeah. Oh, Jennifer. For me, it's a very variety of activities. I look into my toolbox and I find a different tool for whatever is that day. So some days it might be meditation. Some days it might be hiking. Some days it might be reading. Some days it might be journaling. My attitude isn't always positive, but I try to make it positive. And I'm at a place in my life where if I'm having a bad day or I'm in my head that day, I'm able to observe that and kind of reground myself. It really is such a great place to be when you can observe your feelings and emotions and why you're feeling that way and pull yourself out. And if I can help anybody on that journey learn how to do that, I'm all game, because when we get stuck in those thoughts and that negativity, that's, when we really struggle as human beings. So.
Hey, Jen Pickering, I want to say thank you for watching. Great question. And Robbie and Jen and everyone who's watching this live stream, I apologize for the audio issues. Also, if you have questions for Melissa, please type them in the comments and I can forward them to Melissa. And I'm going to try to get a few more questions in with Melissa as well. And we're going to definitely get her back here again in the future as well. So let's just see another question for Melissa here. Thoughts on your inner circle and surrounding yourself with positive people?
I really, really love your questions. They're really touching my heart. Thank you, Chris. So my inner circle, I'm an outgoing introvert, so it was very important to me that I find my people, so I feel connected and I feel safe to be myself authentically with those people, and I've found them. And even if we have difference of agreement, it's okay. That's them, that's on them. I'm there to listen and support them and, stay positive with them. And I've found lately, I have this really strong core group of women, and we're just empowering each other, whether we're meeting each other at 6 a.m. and holding each other accountable, or giving each other, a book to read. Like, I'm really grateful for my inner circle.
How long did it take for you to write Dear Eagle, Dear Heart? And my next question, we'll do this one too. What was the publishing? What was the book process like in terms of finding a publisher as well?
So writing my book, once I got the concept of what I was going to write and how I was going to write it, it took about 2 years, but I dabbled in it before. So maybe 4 years altogether. And then once I found it, I was like, okay, this is it. And it was about a 2-year process. And I'm very much a writer where like things have to inspire me, or inspiration has to hit. So I'm not a full-time writer. I'm an adjudicator by nature, currently a marketing assistant with a great company. So yeah, 2 years. And then the publishing process, I'm self-published. I self-published it, but I use a company called Platypus Publishing online. So they kind of like sponsor you, but it was a really neat course on how to get you to think niche and taboo and something different. And I'm really glad I took that course because I learned so much. And without Platypus Publishing, I don't think I would have been able to self-publish my book, because I literally wrote it in Word, and there's so much more involved in self-publishing. You have to put it into Readsy and then transcribe it and move it. And I'm just not tech savvy, but with that company and their support, I was able to do that. So
Thoughts on self-publishing overall? Would you recommend it to other people?
I learned a lot through Platypus Publishing, and what to do and why you should self-publish versus non-self-publish. I really liked it. I had my struggles, and I'm going to take accountability for that and own that, because it's just, I'm not tech savvy. It's probably why I can't hear you right now. But it was a really good experience. And like when you self-publish, you can say, I did this from beginning to end. Like, I am fortunate enough that I have a graphic designer. Moko Heathers did my graph on my book, and or my cover for my book, and it's beautiful. I love it so much. It just speaks to me every time I see it. But yeah, self-publishing is good. It's hard once you're there though. Like, it's hard to market your book. It's, you gotta find book editors and marketers and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't really gone there. I've just kind of did my soft launch literally on Christmas Eve. So it's kind of a present to myself. But if I have to do it again, which I will, I will look into all those tools.
This has been quite the experience here, Melissa, and we're getting through this, everybody. And I've got a few more questions for Melissa. Thoughts on graphic designers?
Graphic designers are like godsends. They're like earth angels, really. As a child, I had these callings and whispers, and I felt like a visionary, but I didn't know what that was. I would have loved to have been an artist. Without their ability to take other people's visions and work with them, I don't think as many cool things would be manifested in the world as they are today. So thank you, graphic designers.
Next question. I love to ask questions. I was in security for 2 decades, so I'm used to asking people questions and the storytelling aspect as well. Melissa, what are your thoughts on social media importance these days?
So social media it's super important. I feel like for myself, and it's uncomfortable to me. Like, this is all very new, and I know it's an important part of the process for the journey, but I think everybody has a voice. And if more people shared their voice for the like from good intentions for the greater of humanity, we would be in a much better place in the world. And I'm not really sure how without social media we would be able to share our voice and make our presence to the world. So.
And okay, another comment. Thank you so much for the comment. If anybody has any more comments or questions, please type them in the comments section. We're getting through this show with Melissa, even though she cannot hear me. And I do apologize for the technical difficulties. So what we're going to do is we got a couple more questions, and we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. Where can my audience purchase your book online and bookstores? And do you have any plans for another book in the future?
So currently you can buy my book from www.soulsecrets.ca, and it will take you to a direct link to Amazon, where you can buy it. You can also go just directly onto Amazon and buy it from there. It's not any bookstores yet, but I've been doing some research into Indigo, and they take a lot of local authors, bless them. You just have to go in with your book and pitch it to them. And a lot of times they let you set up a booth there and sell there. So I am going to do that. I'm going to get the courage to do that. My half sister is also in Reiki, and she'll be doing shows. So she's going to start bringing those along with her as well. So.
Thoughts on meditation, yoga, spiritual beliefs, and how much these techniques have helped you?
Can I just go back to your last question for a minute, Chris?
Absolutely, yes.
So, no, that's not it. That's how, if you're gonna, are there any plans to publish any books?
Books, yeah.
So yes, I do. This book is a trilogy. So I won't give you any spoiler alerts, but it is a trilogy. And the second one's going to be kind of the aftermath of the war within yourself. And then the third one's going to be speaking directly, hopefully, from my soul once I get there. So.
And I'm just typing up another question for my guest. And we'll see. This is new to me, so everybody, I appreciate you sticking by our show as we had some audio issues tonight. What's the release date?
The release dates of my other books?
Yeah, approximately, yes.
At least a year. I'm still doing like the hard release on this. I just did my soft release in the winter. I have started the second book to it though. So I'm looking for and feeling the inspiration out there. And as I evolve and make stronger connections and have my inner circle of friends cheer me on.
What are your thoughts on meditation, yoga, spiritual beliefs, and how much of these techniques have helped you?
Oh, I love this question so much. So I'm a very spiritual person. I feel like my best self when I'm connected to the divine higher power, myself, when I'm loving myself. Can we always be there? No. Maybe if we're, angry, we're on top of the mountain in Tibet. So I'm not always there, but that is when I feel like the best version of myself. When it comes to meditation, yoga, these techniques for me have been a bigger healing process than the actual medical techniques that I took through during my car accident and those type of things. So meditation and yoga is very similar. One's a little more athletic, but it's just, even if you can't do it, so many people say, oh, I can't meditate, I can't get there. It doesn't have to be for a long time. It's just the fact that you're willing to be vulnerable with yourself and take a few minutes out of your day just to connect with your inner source and your power. That's what's important. And yeah, I'm a very, very strong believer in meditation. Having spiritual beliefs, they're very, very important to me. And they've helped me so far on my journey.
Who are some of your favorite writers today, currently?
We don't have all night. I can't name them all. I've read a lot of self-help books in my day. My favorite writer that was like my aha was Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. If I had read that in the other version of myself when I was like married and living, you have the white picket fence and a house, and this is what life looks like, I would have probably been like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But all these books during my process and my healing journey, they just fell upon me at the right time. So, Eckhart Tolle is definitely one of my favorites. Sarah Blondin, she is a huge meditator teacher. Like, she has a bunch of meditations on there. She also wrote a very powerful book. Vincent Linkini, he writes the Code of the Ethical Mind. Like, it was so good because it really takes into his story about how he had to live his life one way for a long time. And, he worked at Microsoft and he had to please his family. And then he really had this desire to create this Mind Valley meditation company. And, but he works and then he goes and he follows his soul, but he brings it together, spirituality and work, until you can kind of follow your soul's purpose full time. It's really, really good.
Next question. Do you think the hard copy of books will continue to shrink in the future and everything will just be digital?
It's definitely a possibility. And with AI and audiobooks and all those, probably. I hope not in my lifetime, because that would be a shame. Like, it's so important to have a physical copy. Auditory, like when you listen to an auditory book, it doesn't teach you the same thing as reading. So reading a hard copy, even versus online, it's very, very different, and it teaches you different skills. So I really do hope that hard copies don't, and if they do go away, at least a little bit of my heart is out there in the world and paperbacks. So
Okay, and that leads to another question. How satisfying is it seeing your book out published and people giving you positive responses?
it's kind of surreal, to be honest. I wrote this book from my heart, and at the end of the day, if one person reads it and takes something positive away, whether it's mental health or they align with themselves, and that my book's about self-love, learning to self-love yourself. That's all that matters to me, like nothing else. It was really just for me, and to share peace of love in the world and kindness, and saying, hey, you're not alone. We all have this divide within ourselves, and we have to learn how to come back home to ourselves. So if one person can do that, then my job is done.
And again, another viewer question from Jen Pickering. Thank you so much for being able to watch and hear our show and get through our little audio difficulties. This question, again, is from Melissa. Do you have a favorite inspirational quote? Great question, Jen.
Are you asking me to ask Jennifer Pickering's? Oh my gosh, I have so many favorite quotes, Jen, and like my brain will be frozen. There's just so many. I'm so sorry. I'm freezing. I'm going to be real here, but there's so many quotes from Eckhart Tolle and all these authors. So,
all right, Melissa, as we wrap up this show, it's been over 40 minutes and we've gotten through it, everybody. This segment I do with all my guests. It's Ask CDP, the host, a question.
I get to ask you a question now?
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, Chris. I won't be able to hear it, so somebody will have to tell me what you say. Do you feel like you previously lived in a social condition world where you had to do things, and what was your journey to get where you are today?
Absolutely, yes. Obviously, Melissa won't be able to hear this, but everyone watching will. Yes. About 5 years ago, I started a new journey. I was in a corporate environment for over 2 decades. They paid me well, but at the end, I was not happy, and it went into a work divorce. And before I left the former company, I was working on a new career in 2020. I started doing some volunteer work as a cameraman for a local basketball team. And that led to me going to a cable company, doing some camera work. And then during the pandemic, I started up my own podcast, and I've had a lot of people support me, but I've had a lot of skeptics and naysayers. And 5 years later, I've done over 500 episodes, and I've been on 2 radio stations, and I've had a couple of sponsors, and I've made a lot of progress. And my road to a new career is a little bit older in life. I started this when I was 47, and now I'm 52, and I'm self-taught. And I've had lots of media opportunities with the Buffalo Bisons, Buffalo Bandits, Toronto Argonauts, and the Canadian Football League, the NFL. So I speak once a month with high school kids about the importance of education, but education just doesn't stop in a classroom. Education is lifelong, and also when you're in high school and you don't know what you want to do, you don't have to pick one career and stick with it your whole life. So yeah, that's my answer to your question, Melissa. Unfortunately, you're unable to hear me, but everybody else watching this show would be able to. But that was a great question, Melissa, as well. And before we wrap up this show with Melissa, and again, I apologize for the audio issue here. I'm going to put Melissa on the spot here. What are some fun facts about Melissa Heathers?
More fun facts about me?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, we'll make it fun facts about maybe what's next. I am taking a conscious business developer course online, which has been amazing. It's given me confidence and allowed me to lean more into my fear, my vulnerabilities, and all those type of things. So I actually might try to get my YouTube video up and going again and make some reels like Carrie suggested, and just, speak truth and love and light, and just give love and light to the world. And my half sister Jen always says, "You're a light worker, Melly. You're a light worker." And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So I'm just gonna have to do it from authenticity and in my way, and hopefully help some people while I can. So.
And finally, Melissa, where can my audience follow you on social media, your website, and again, purchase your book, Dare Eagle, Dare Heart?
So on social media, I'm just on Facebook, I'm just under Melissa Heathers. On Instagram, it's a B named Zoe13. And then I'm also on Instagram through a little company called Align and Lunch. Oh, and you can buy my book at Amazon. Thank you.
Amazon.com and Amazon.ca, I'm assuming. And finally, I want to say thank you to Melissa Heathers for coming on here tonight. Again, I apologize for the audio issue. And Melissa will be hopefully coming back on a show a second time where she can hear me. But we got through this tonight, and want to say thank you again to Melissa and everybody for watching live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And we got one more comment before we wrap this up. And this is from Jen Pickering. Thank you, Jen, for your comments and for watching. This has been such an empowering podcast. Thank you for sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me, Chris. From one soul to another. It's really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa, for coming on here, even though you can't hear me. And we'll have you back on my show again as a guest in the future when you can actually hear me. And this was a new experience for me tonight as well. And sometimes things in broadcasting happen in TV and radio and it happens. You have to work around it. So thank you again to Melissa Heathers, the author of Dear Eagle, Dear Heart. You can check out her website at soulsecrets.ca, soulsecrets.ca, and you can follow Melissa on Instagram at AB named Zoe 13. AB named Zoe 13. And again, her book is available on Amazon. And I want to say thank you to Robbie Schneider and Jen Pickering for coming on here tonight as well. And we're going to wrap this up right now. Melissa, thank you so much. And you have a good night, and we'll be in touch. All right, guys, that was Melissa Heathers. We had to do this show a little the unconventional way with me typing all the questions in. Unfortunately, she had some audio issues where she could see me, but she couldn't hear me. But I thought the show went well right tonight, and continued success to Melissa Heathers. And before we go, guys, I did a little ad for Twice the Deal Pizza here in Guelph, and I'm going to play it right now, courtesy of my YouTube channel. Please hit subscribe. Entertainment Talk Show. If you love pizza, good quality pizza, affordable pizza, and Canadian pizza, check out Twice the Deal Pizza at 715 Wellington Road West in Guelph, Ontario. Their website is twicethedealpizza.com. You can call them at 519-826-4646 and tell Sal Chris Palme sent you as well. They have a Customer Appreciation Day. That's right, a Customer Appreciation Day on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, where you can get a medium pizza with one topping for only $6.99. So Customer Appreciation Day at Twice the Deal Pizza, Tuesday, March 25th, $6.99 for a medium one topping pizza as well. So Twice the Deal Pizza is the official pizza of Chris Palme and Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. That clip was courtesy of my YouTube channel. And I want to say thank you to my 566 and counting subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, type in Chris Palme, Live with CDP Talk Show, and make sure you hit that subscribe and like notification as well. And before we wrap up this show, guys, I have a 4th show in 4 nights. The next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, brought to you by BarryCullin.com on Thursday, March 20th. That's tomorrow night, Thursday, March 20th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, with my special guest, Jennifer Evans. She is a certified relationship and life coach. So if you're interested in a relationship life coach and you want to hear from my guest, Jennifer Evans, please check out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show tomorrow night at 7:30. And Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out BarryCullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with a great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership 519-824-0210, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, a 2025 Equinox EV, 2LD 4-wheel drive, you can lease from $250 bi-weekly. That's like $125 weekly at 2.9% financing for 48 months with $3,300 down payment on an ultra low kilometer lease. More details at barrycullen.com. All right, guys, I am on Cameo. Yes, I am on Cameo. If you like a personalized video from yours truly, CDP, click on cameo.com, type in Chris Palme, and book your Cameo today. And looking forward to doing your requests as well. And as we do always, I am now on another social media site. Yes, I'm on another social media site. I'm on bluesky.social, Blue Sky Social, as Live with CDP 19. At Live with CDP 19 on Blue Sky Social. And I think that's probably going to be the last social media site I join. There is so many of them, and you can only do so much. So I am on Blue Sky. If you wish to follow me there, I post on a regular basis there at Live with CDP 19, Blue Sky Social. All right, guys. Hey, speaking of adopting a pet, check out the Cambridge and District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or you can visit their website at cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the animals, pets up for adoption, their profiles are on cambridgehumanesociety.com. And speaking of Cambridge Humane Society right now, they are currently looking for unclumping cat litter. So if you have any extra cat litter at home, or you're able to purchase some unclumping cat litter, they would greatly appreciate it at the Cambridge District Humane Society. And they're also looking for dog treats. They are looking for dog treats for the dogs down at the Humane Society. So unclumping cat litter right now and dog treats. And they also do a once a week pet emergency fund for those who are struggling financially in the Cambridge area every Wednesday. So if you have cat food, dog food, treats, food that you aren't going to use, please consider donating the food to the Cambridge District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Again, their website is cambridgehumanesociety.org. And if you're looking to volunteer like I do twice a week, go onto the website and click on volunteer form, and you can fill out an application form as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. And make sure you follow me there. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. I am also a TikTok I'll go again. I am a content creator on TikTok at Chris Palme. Check out my new page and make sure you follow me. I'm currently at about 452 followers on my new page. Long story there. I would like to get back to 1,000 followers so I can do live TikTok videos. So please follow me on TikTok again on my new page at Chris Palme. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars or podcasting, check out StreamYard.com. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, the audio versions on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And remember to subscribe. Finally, you guys can email Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpalme19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you'd like to tip my talk show and my media work, I am on PayPal, cpalme19@gmail.com, if you'd like to tip me through PayPal as well. And that is about it, guys, for tonight's show. I want to say thank you again to my special guest, Melissa Heathers, the author of Dear Eagle and Dear Heart, for coming on here tonight. And we did get through the show as there was an audio issue with her not being able to hear me. And thank you to Melissa for her patience and for getting through this show. And thank you, everybody, for watching this live stream or on my audio platforms. And also, I am looking for more sponsors to come aboard my show. Barry Cullen's been one of my main sponsors for the last 2.5 years, and Wellington Brewery was on for 4 months, and hopefully again in the future. But if you're a local business or you're a business looking to advertise, check out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, CDP Media Productions. My prices are very reasonable, and you can contact me at cpalme19@gmail.com or DM me on my social media pages. So if you have a business out there and you want to get more exposure, try CDP Media Productions and Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show that has listeners in 41 countries around the world audibly, and I have over 335,000 and counting views on my YouTube channel. So please check me out if you're interested in having your business or businesses advertised here on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, or the Small Talk podcast, or the Argo Bounce podcast show that I do with Nick Small during the Canadian Football League season as well. And that's about it. Again, thank you to my guest tonight, Melissa Heathers, the author of Dear Eagle, Dear Heart book that she just published. Please support her. She's on social media, and I wish her continued success in her writing another book career as well. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's show, guys. My fourth and final show for this week, Thursday, March 20th, again at 7:30 Eastern, with special guest Jennifer Evans, a certified relationship and life coach. I hope everybody has a great evening, and thank you for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. Have a good night, everybody.